Hi, welcome, and thank you so much for joining us. I know we're about a minute away, but thank you, and we will start here in just in a minute here. Okay, we're right at 1 o'clock, and we want to make sure we stay on time for you and respectful of your time. So thank you for joining us for the Holland America 2026 Europe presentation on our product. And we are so lucky today to have Peggy Still. She's our West Coast Business Development Manager in Florida. And I am going to be behind the scenes, your coordinator here, Letitia, and I will try to answer the questions in the chat box if you have any. And I'm going to turn it over to Peggy. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Letitia. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us for our webinar on Holland America Europe 2026. I'm going to go ahead and take myself off of webcam, and that way we will just see my screen for the slides I'm going to present. Now, we will be utilizing our Europe season from March through November of 2026, and we're going to go through some different options and what we actually have for you. So let's explore the 3 different ways to actually experience Europe. Of course, the Mediterranean, wonderful itineraries, lots to do, lots to see. We have lots of UNESCO World Heritage sites that I'm going to share with you. And of course, Northern Europe is so important to Holland America because that's where we were born. 151 years ago, we began taking passengers and cargo from Rotterdam to New York City, hence how we got our name, Holland America. And then we offer our transatlantics that we always do in the spring. When the ships are done in the Caribbean season, we take them over to Europe for the summer, and then they return in the fall back to start the Caribbean season. So I'll show you wonderful itineraries on all 3 of these options in Europe. And then we have our legendary voyages. Now, these are anywhere from 25 to 59 days, and they're not quite as grand as our grand voyages. However, we do offer some wonderful enhanced opportunities on board. We have some fun poolside themed parties. We have guest speakers, and we also have local cuisine and wines from the regions that we are visiting. So here are what we consider to be our 6 top reasons to sail with Holland America to Europe. Of course, our carefully crafted itineraries give our guests options to do some really wonderful things, different ports of call, wonderful immersive shore excursions. As I mentioned, we're going to go to many of the UNESCO World Heritage sites. We're going to have extended port stays. And when we say that, you will see a symbol on our itineraries. One is like the moon and the sun, and that means we're going to overnight in that port. And if it's like a half moon, then we're going to have an extended port stay. Our fresh local flavors, of course, we try to really take advantage of buying and getting fresh produce, seafood, fish from wherever we are in the world. And we consider that our 11 perfectly sized ships, anywhere from little over 1,400 up to the 2,600, are the best way to sail the seas. Now, for the Europe 2026 season, we will have 4 ships that I will give you more details on later. UNESCO World Heritage Sites. Did you know there are 1,223 of them worldwide? You will see on this map, and believe it or not, Italy has the most, and those are the itineraries that we really do focus on to get you to these World Heritage Sites. But they're all over Europe. There's always somewhere to go in one of the ports to visit them. The Northern Lights. This is actually going to be new featured itineraries for us. We are going to really highlight Alta, Norway. Look at this beautiful Northern Lights Cathedral that you can visit. But we're going to do actually above the Arctic Circle. If you can see that, we will go as far north as Alta with an overnight, and this is the furthest northern point that you can go in the hemisphere to see the aurora borealis. So this is why we have decided to really go up the coast of Norway, do those fjords all the way up to Alta. And these are going to be Rotterdam to Amsterdam on the Rotterdam vessel, or round trip Rotterdam, which is in the new Statendam. And we will also give the option on that one on the 14 or 15-day Arctic journey in Northern Lights on the new Statendam departing on October 17th. That will give our guests the option of picking up the ship in Dover, doing a round trip Dover, or getting it in Rotterdam. Dover is, of course, our port for London, so a lot of guests like to do that to include London for pre and post. Now, this year for the solar eclipse was so very exciting and popular and just a big hit with our guests. We will now feature two for 2026, one on the new Statendam in July the 25th, and once again, with the option of Dover on embark or disembarking. And then the Amsterdam on August the 9th, that is going to be from Lisbon to the port of Athens, which is Piraeus. In the description in the map where you see 28 days and it has a half moon, then that means that we're going to have a delayed departure out of Reykjavik. And then you'll see for Edinburgh, we're going to have an actual overnight. And then the 13-day over for right up below Lisbon, you will see that we're going to have an overnight there in Barcelona. The wonderful part, I think, and that I've heard from so many guests that took the solar eclipses this year, was that getting away from the hustle and bustle and the lights of being on land, being on the ship and having an actual onboard astronomer that is doing a port talk was priceless. Our Voyage of the Vikings is probably our most popular transatlantic. We do this every July. We do it round trip Boston. It's a 35-day full circle. However, if you would have guests that want to break it up, you can do a 17-night from Boston to Rotterdam, or the reverse. Guests can pick it up in Rotterdam and take it 18 days back to Boston. Again, you will see on here two featured overnights, one in Reykjavik and one in Rotterdam, which is so awesome because it gives our guests opportunities to do short excursions for 2 days in both of those valued ports. So Italy and Greece, of course. Italy is probably the most popular country to sail to in Europe, with wonderful shore excursions to all of the immersive, iconic Colosseum. In Greece, then, of course, we do the Parthenon, the Acropolis. Lots to do in Italy and Greece, lots of options for Greece to go to Santorini, Rhodes, of course, in Athens, when you pick it up, spend some extra time there. And now we're going to go to the Canary Islands because we have these two wonderful opportunities. We're going to have the round trip Rotterdam on the new Stotendam. This is in April. And then we decided to do one in the fall as well. Now, the advantage of the one in the fall is that we are going to go to the new port of Gran Canaria. So you will see that both of them have Tenerife, and then we will also have Lanzarote. So lots of options there. Once again, you'll see Dover on the ones for both of these that guests can embark or disembark in Dover. And I'll go over some really cool Dover options here in just a moment. So please keep these in mind, because these are some really unusual, get to go to Funchal, which of course is part of Portugal, and then Lisbon, and then sail up to Rotterdam or Dover. So some wonderful itineraries in Italy with Bari, which is the entrance into the Puglia region of Italy. And Bari is so wonderful and so not usually visited on the east coast of Italy. This is a wonderful shot of Old Town that shows what this region looks like. And then we have the Gran Canaria, which is what we have added for that fall Canary Islands, seeing Las Palmas and some wonderful wineries there in the Canary Islands to visit. Holland America puts what we call collector's voyages together. These are prepackaged. We take anywhere from 2 to 3 itineraries and put them together to make it a longer voyage. And they usually price much better than if you put them together back to back yourself. So you can see on this one, we put the 7-day Western Med, 7-day Mediterranean Splendor, put those together for a 14-day, and it offers so many more ports for the guests to visit. So keep these in mind. We have a full list of these that I will show you in a moment. I don't think I ever get tired of seeing this beautiful shot of Santorini. My husband and I were actually there, and we had our picture taken in one of the blue domes and used it as our Christmas card that year. So it's iconic. It's beautiful. Santorini, you can also go to Ia, which is right next to Santorini. So we have in the Mediterranean, of course, not only in Italy and all those med ports, but Greece as well. So here are just a few of the 7-day itineraries we wanted to share with you. You will see these are all 4 on the Oosterdam, and they do begin in June and go into July. And on that third one, once again, up there where it says 7 days, there's your indication that you're going to have a delayed departure as well as an overnight. And for this particular itinerary to visit ancient Egypt, it's going to be in Alexandria, which of course is the port for Cairo. So that's kind of an unusual and different one that we find that our guests like to go to. It also picks up Mykonos and Rhodes in Greece. So always some really unique itineraries that I think we can satisfy anyone who wants to go on the Europe 2026 voyages. Again, here are some 7 days. You'll see the first one. Here's a really nice, unique one on the first one. That has an overnight in Naples. So you will see that it is from Piraeus to Rome, using, of course, Civitavecchia as that port. And it's the only one that has the overnight in Naples in this particular time frame on the Oosterdam. As I mentioned on the Collector's Voyages, we do have all these listed. These are all for the Oosterdam. These are for the Med. So they're anywhere from 14 to 21 days, because remember now, we put 2 7s together or we put 3 7s together. So that's where we get up to 21 days. There is a unique one, which is the solar eclipse Collector's Voyage. That's 27 days from Barcelona to Rome, and that's going to be August the 2nd of 2026. Northern Europe, I think that Holland America is so ensconced in Northern Europe because of coming from the Scandinavian countries and certainly always going to Sweden and Norway and Finland. We also go over to the Greenland and Iceland. We pick up the British Isles on these Northern Europe itineraries as well. I was fortunate enough in June to actually sail right by the White Cliffs of Dover. Quite fascinating to see from the ship. And this is, again, all these options we've talked about that I've mentioned several times of the Dover being our port for London. So here are a couple examples of itineraries that we're going to do, both on the New Statendam, because we're picking up one extra day if the guest wants to embark in Dover, do round trip Dover, or then embark in Rotterdam and do round trip Rotterdam. The advantage of both of these is that we will have an overnight in Glasgow. So how fun will that be? I don't think I've ever been on an itinerary that has an overnight in Glasgow, as much as I love going to that port. So we talked a lot about Alta, because remember, that's going to be our furthest northern Norway port to hit the Northern Lights. So Alta is very important, and I think a great way to cross the Arctic Circle, get to see the Aurora Borealis. And then new for us is going to Poland. We're going to add the port of Gdańsk. And this is such a fascinating city because it was almost devastated in World War II. So they have totally restored Old Town. And this is the place that you would be able to see the oldest brick castle in Europe. So some wonderful opportunities in both of these new ports of call for Holland America. These itineraries will just show you going up to some of the Scandinavian countries, going up to a lot of the Norwegian fjords, Stavanger. I love Bergen. I love all the Norwegian fjord ports that we go to. I love Oslo, and I will tell you that when I was in Oslo, believe it or not, I found the best Mexican restaurant that I have ever found anywhere in the world. So figure on that. A wonderful time to spend some time in Oslo. No particular overnights on these 4 itineraries, but they are all round trip out of Rotterdam. Now for 14 days, we get a little more options for you. On the 14-day, we will have, even though it's round trip Rotterdam on all of these as well, on the first one, we will have an overnight in Oslo. So great way to go exploring the city, see if you can find that Mexican restaurant. On the second one, then we'll have a delayed departure from Tallinn. And on the very last one, once again, we're going to have that overnight on that 14-day Wild British Isles with the Glasgow overnight. So once you see these, see what options you have for your clients for the 14-night itineraries, some really wonderful, whether it's going to Warnemünde for the Berlin port, a lot to do on all of these. Collector's voyages, these are going to be for the Rotterdam and the New Statendam. They are round trip Rotterdam or Rotterdam Reykjavik, some different options here. And these are a little bit longer. So you're going to see 14 days up to 42 days. And again, that 42-day is going to be the extension of the solar eclipse for the Northern Europe on the New Statendam, Rotterdam to Amsterdam, and that's departing July the 25th. I know that we have a lot of our mariners who wanted something longer to be on during the solar eclipse. Transatlantic, it's always a great way to get some relaxation. My favorite way, I've done 4 transatlantic, so I always look forward to the days at sea. And I'll tell you a funny story that one of my attendees at a seminar I did asked me if we put guests on our transatlantic voyages. And I remarked that yes, we had to pay for the fuel somehow. So great way, lots of days at sea, lots of different options. Again, we do these in April and then again returning in the fall. So one of our stops on one of them is Bermuda. Can't go wrong with the pink sand beaches of Bermuda, with also a fabulous stop in Portland on that same itinerary to get to visit Stonehenge. So keep in mind what some of these different ports are. You'll see on these that the second one is the one on the New Statendam, April the 4th, that actually stops in Bermuda on its way over. And then the Oosterdam on April the 8th stops in Ponta Delgada, which is actually the capital of the Azores archipelago, which is a part of Portugal. So some wonderful stops there on over to Funchal, part of Portugal, of course, and hitting Gibraltar before going into Barcelona. These collector voyages are anywhere from 21 to 29 days. And you'll see there, it's either on the Rotterdam, the New Statendam, or the Oosterdam. Oh, our shore excursions. I can't talk enough about those. I wish I had time to tell you all the wonderful shore excursions I've been in on with Holland America. I've been with Holland America 18 and a half years. So it's been my good fortune to sail many times and go on many shore excursions. I guess maybe the best part of Italy is pizza. However, I will tell you that Holland America has some really good pizza on our ships. But you might want to take that rigid inflatable boat. That is an adventure in Norway up the fjords. Or last September, I actually experienced going to Normandy, going to this beautiful memorial for the D-Day landing. And it was quite moving and quite touching, something that I would highly recommend for anyone to visit. So I had mentioned that we have 4 ships that will be sailing in Europe for our 2026 season. 2 of them are our Vista class ships. We have 4 Vista class ships. The Vista class ships are the 4 points of the compass. So the Oosterdam is east and the Zuiderdam is south. These both hold 1,964 guests. Great size, not too big. You don't have to walk a mile to get to your stateroom. Holland America has been designated as the official cruise line of the Pickleball Association. So we do have 2 pickleball courts on board, and we have lessons. We sell the paddles and the pickleball balls in our gift shop. We have a beautiful Lido pool area, which has a dome that will actually close during inclement weather. So it's a great way to enjoy the pool, even if it's not very good weather outside. There are actually 3 pools and 5 different hot tubs, so a lot of space for everyone. There's the Sea View pool, which is still outdoors, and we on the aft part of the ship, and then we also have the hydro pool. For our dining experiences, of course, we have our main dining room. We have our Lido Market, where we feature breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We have specialty restaurants on every single ship. On the larger ships, we'll have more dining options. And we have complimentary room service, 24 hours. So lots of dining options. And as far as our entertainment, we really decided about 5 years ago to start focusing on our entertainment as far as music venues. So we have the Rolling Stone Lounge. We have the Billboard on board with our dueling pianos. We have our wonderful trio that plays in the Ocean Bar. So there's lots of options at night On the larger ships, I'll tell you that we do have the BB Kings. That's my favorite place to go. My husband and I go there every night when we're on the larger Pinnacle class ships because they play a lot of Motown. So here's the 2 Pinnacle class ships that will be commissioned to do Europe 2026. The Rotterdam and the New Statendam. They are the 2 newest ships in our fleet, and they're a little bit bigger. But we're still considered mid-sized. We're a premium cruise line, but we're really considered mid-sized. So 2,666 guests up to 2,668. Again, you have the pickleball courts. You have the domed Lido pool. We have more specialty restaurants on board. We have the Dutch Cafe. We have the gelato. We have the tamarind, of course, which is our Pan-Asian. We have a separate restaurant for our master chef, Rudy Sodeman, and it is a French brasserie called Rudy's Celle de Mer. And then, as I mentioned on the Pinnacle class, we have the BB Kings. We still have the Rolling Stone Lounge. We have the dueling pianos, and we have the trio in the Ocean Bar. Wonderful options for our staterooms, and I believe I can say with all confidence that our staterooms are a little bit bigger than the others in the premium market. Our Neptune suite, that is the Mac Daddy, and on that same deck, we have a Neptune lounge for those suite guests. We have Vista Suites, we have Ocean View, and also I wanted to inform you that on the Pinnacle class ships, the 3 in the Pinnacle class category, that would be the Rotterdam, the New Statendam, and the Koningsdam. They actually have single staterooms. Now, these are located on the main deck all the way forward, and they don't price at 200%. I wish I had $1 for every time a guest has come to a seminar and said to me, why do I have to pay 200% as a single? Well, on the 3 Pinnacle class ships, they do not. Those staterooms will usually price at about 125 to 140%, depending on the ship and the sail date. So we talked a little bit about the activities. Let's see if I can get rid of this. The BB Kings, of course, for the music, Rolling Stones. The trio of the 3rd Avenue West, which are usually in the Ocean Bar. Great. It's a small dance floor, but there is a dance floor there in the Ocean Bar. And of course, our performances and lectures in our world stage. Every evening, we do have a performance of some sort. And then for sports and activities, we talked about pickleball. We have flower arranging, modern brush lettering, origami, shuffleboard, table tennis, tai chi, and so many more things that are offered on board. So I want to share our Dutch traditions with you. And I also want to explain why you will see everything orange in connection with Holland America. Holland America ships are actually registered in the Netherlands. Many of the royal family have christened our ships. The royal family is the House of Orange in the Netherlands, and so that is our nod to the royal family. We have a royal Dutch tea that we do in our main dining room, which is always very popular, and it's very much, of course, like having a high tea. And then the mint and ginger service, that's right outside of the dining room. On Dutch Day, we offer a Dutch menu in the dining room, and then that evening, we will put a mini stroopwafel on every pillow. And the stroopwafel is kind of like their cookie, their famous Dutch cookie. And the orange party has become so very popular and lots of fun. If people don't remember to bring their orange, then we have many orange accessories for sale in the gift shop. The dining bars and lounges, of course, the complimentary dining options I've kind of been through with telling you that we have the 24-hour complimentary room service. Of course, the Lido Market for breakfast, lunch, and dinner is at no charge. We do have specialty restaurants, the Canaletto, that's on every ship. That is our casual Italian dining. It's up in the Lido. We actually block off a section of the Lido restaurant and we put down tablecloths. We have the Pinnacle Grill is on every single one of our ships. That's our steak and seafood option. And we have the Tamarind on our larger ships. We do have our dive-in, which is complimentary. That is out at the pool area for our hot dogs and hamburgers. Coffees and treats are everywhere. We do the coffee, specialty coffees in the up on the Crow's Nest bar and in the Dutch Cafe. Bars and lounges are everywhere, so lots of places to go and enjoy a signature cocktail. Dining we talked about. There are also some really fun dining options if you'd like to go in Italy and learn how to cook pasta. There's fun things to do. There's truffles in Belgium if you want to go and do that shore excursion. So lots of different options to do actual shore excursions to enjoy the fresh local ingredients of the region that we are in. Probably one of my favorite days is the spa experience because there's lots of options here. There are couples treatments, there are facials, massages, nail and hair treatments. We even do teeth whitening. So always probably a good idea to encourage your clients to book their spa experience before they sail, whenever maybe they're doing their check-in, just in case they want a specific date and a specific time. I've also found that there are always good spa specials whenever we are in port. If a guest maybe elects not to go in, good time to maybe visit the spa. Now I'm going to discuss our evergreen promotion. This is called Have It All. It is $55 per person per day, which can be added to almost any booking. And it's evergreen because there's no expiration date for the standard Have It All. It does not matter what type of stateroom is booked. It's all based on the length of the cruise. So the longer the cruise, the more specialty dining and the more shore excursion credit. The signature beverage package and the surf Wi-Fi remains the same no matter how long the cruise is. For our early booking bonus, this is what we're offering on our departures in the summer starting in 2025, which would include Europe, Alaska, Canada, New England. Moving forward, going into 2026, if the booking qualifies, we have an added bonus. We have a free upgrade to the Elite Beverage Package. We have a free upgrade on the Premium Wi-Fi, which takes the Wi-Fi from surfing to streaming. We include the free prepaid crew appreciation, and we offer our low price guarantee. Now, the difference also with the early booking bonus, I must tell you, is that at this time, it is due to expire on October the 1st. But again, it would still just be the $55 per person per day. This is probably my favorite group program that we offer. I would highly suggest, if you're interested in this, to reach out to your local business development manager. They are the ones that will submit this for you. It's really based on small affinity groups. So we say that it's good for groups of 24 guests or fewer. And that's because the tour conductor or the TC ratio is 1:10, and you can earn only a maximum of 2 tour conductors, which of course would give you a free stateroom. No group deposit is required. And in addition to the amenity points that you would get on the original group, we will add 2 extra gap points. It's perfect for pickleball groups, quilting, knitting, bridge players, educational seminars, the dance camps, wine and cheese tasting. We've even seen it for foodie groups. So please keep that in mind. Please reach out to your BDM if you would like to learn more about this, or if you have a possible group that would qualify for it. On behalf of Holland America, all your local business development managers, we want to thank you for your support these last several years that have been challenging, and we want you to know how much we really do appreciate you. So thank you again. I'm going to go back to Letitia and see if she has anything that we need to answer.
Thank you so much, Peggy. It was an amazing presentation. I can tell that you just love this part of the world and you have such a great experience there. I always love listening to all of our business development managers when they have the opportunity to present, because you bring such a wealth of knowledge. We don't have any questions because you covered everything so perfectly and your delivery was so great. So I just want to say thank you as well for joining us today, and y'all have a fantastic day and week.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.